All right, everybody, we're back again for Wild Skills. Hopefully you guys enjoyed Phil Mendoza's Wild Skills last week on how to shoot the bow and proper techniques there at the archery range. This week we are touching on draw strength, how to improve your poundage, but also how to improve the endurance of pulling your bow back. And Jesse's going to touch on why that can be important.
Yep, I mean, as hunters and individuals who shoot bow for long amounts of time, we're not trying to be like bodybuilders out here trying to get our delts all, rounded and bouldered and everything like that. It's really trying to find those real small muscle groups that are going to translate into the backcountry and
right.
to a long shot, waiting for the animal to, clear a bush, clear something, and just stay there. So I'm interested. This will be a great one.
Yeah, I think what he touched on is important is that you never know what's going to happen in the backcountry. You can't predict what's going to happen. You may be having to hold for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, who knows. Or you may be shooting from a knee, you may be shooting off balance. So this is going to translate into the backcountry because we're going to be training those muscles that are going to allow us to become stronger in the backcountry, allow us to be more stable in as we pull. So Jesse's going to I'm going to give him a step-by-step exercise program. Hopefully you guys will enjoy that as we move forward here. There will be a Draw Strength 2 workout coming out in a couple weeks. Be sure that you guys stay consistent with these training programs. If you do, I promise you will see the results. You'll feel the stability in your bow strength, and you'll also feel just a little more confident as you step into the backcountry and prepare for these hunts that are going to be coming up for you. Right now, I'm just going to have Jesse pull the bow. He's going to face away from us, so I'm actually going to slide behind him. You can face this way, Jesse. I want you to be able to see what's activating here. So he's going to go ahead and trigger up here. He wasn't prepared. All right, so he's going ahead and pull, okay? And what's activating here, as you can see, luckily he has big, strong muscles here. The deltoids are firing, okay? His rotator cuff, external rotation. His lat is firing, his rhomboid here, and his upper and lower trap, while it's all deriving from this core strength right here. Okay, it's an anti-rotational core movement. He's having to hold that position. You're firing the glutes as well to stay upright and sturdy. So Jesse, go ahead and let off here. Good. So as we step into the exercises here, you can spin around, Jesse. As we step into the exercises, we are going to touch on why those muscles are important, how we can train them, and how it'll translate into the backcountry. All right, everybody. First workout is going to be a reverse lunge with pull-off press. This is going to be an anti-rotational core movement, just like as if we were pulling a bow. So this band's going to want to pull Jesse back. He's going to have to use his core to stay nice and square. So he's going to reverse lunge. He's going to pull-off press right in front of his sternum, bring the press back, and then stand tall, and then switch legs. So he's activating his glute, a unilateral movement, anti-rotational core as well. On this, you're going to do 10 total. Okay, 5 each leg, and then you're going to spin around and face the other direction, so we be sure we hit both sides of the core. Next one is going to be a half kneeling row. Again, this is a unilateral anti-rotational movement, but we're actually working on that pulling motion to get these rear delts and lats fired as well. So you're going to want to spin as you are pulling because you're pulling from one side of the body. It's an anti-rotational movement. Be sure we're not moving the body. We're keeping the torso nice and still. Our core is engaged. Our shoulders packed, and we're being as still as possible with the only movement being our arm. So you're going to feel this in one side of your core, and what we're going to have Jesse do is he's going to switch legs here into another half kneeling position. That way we focus on hitting both sides of the core here. If your right leg is up, you're going to be pulling with your left arm, and vice versa.
Bringing the elbow to the...
Yeah, so you're going to bring the elbow directly back and down. Be sure we're not actually scrunching up into that trap position. So you want to be pulling from the low back position, stabilize for a half second, and control the movement back to start. All right, next one. This is going to be a half kettlebell get up. The starting position is going to be on your back. Jesse's head's going to be resting on the floor. He's going to be in a contralateral position. That means if the weight's in your right hand, your left knee is up, okay? So the first one, he's going to press, and he's going to sit up using his core all the way to a vertical position, stabilize for a half second so we hit these shoulder muscles, and then he's going to control the movement back to the floor. This is really going to fire your core, and it's really going to test the stability in your shoulder, which is extremely important as we pull that bow and try to maintain that drawback. He's going to work all the way down. Perfect. Good.
Come up on my left elbow.
Yeah, so he's going to come up, he's going to press, he's going to sit up into the elbow first, press up onto the hand, stabilize all the way vertical, and then reverse that. Elbow, back, controlled movement all the way down the start position. Next is going to be a plank kettlebell pull through. Again, this is an anti-rotational movement. Jesse's going to go up into a high plank position. His hips are tucked. There isn't a curve in his low back, so he's nice and strong through the core. He's going to reach through, grab the kettlebell, and then he's going to drag it across, set it down, reset in the plank position, and then he's going to reach through with the opposite arm. Perfect. So as he's doing this, go ahead and keep on going for me, Jesse. We want as little movement as possible in the core, in the hips. Okay, the only thing that should be moving is the arm. Test your core strength, test your stability as he reaches through and pulls.
I would also add, just keeping your feet wide enough. Some people will keep them too narrow, and then it's easier to tip over. You gotta use more core.
All right, the next one is going to be a half kneeling chest press. This is the same, it's the opposite of the half kneeling row. We're gonna add into the pec, major, minor, and anterior deltoid. So Jesse's gonna be in that half kneeling 90-90 position. He's gonna tuck his hips, belly button to his spine, pack shoulders. He's going to press, control the whole rest of the body, so the only thing that is moving is the arm. So this is an isolated movement into that arm and chest. He's gonna come back, perfect. So he's gonna go ahead and switch sides. So we make sure we get both. I know we only pull the bow with one side usually, but you have to make sure that we're staying balanced.
Question, am I bringing this across my midline?
So you wanna stay right in front of the shoulder joint. So it's gonna be here, stabilize for a half second, and then bring it back to start.
Okay.
Next one's gonna be a high, medium, and low row. Right here we're gonna focus on different hand placement to activate different muscles in our back. So Jesse's going to high row first, pulling his hands to the top of his shoulders, squeezing the upper trap and rear delts. He's gonna go back, and then he's gonna pull into a neutral thumb up row position. We're just working down the back here. He's hitting a little more of the rhomboids, scapular muscles. He's gonna reach back, restart, and then he's gonna low row, palm up, hitting the lower lat type position into those rhomboids. You're gonna squeeze for a good half second, control the movement back. So you're gonna alternate every time. High, neutral, thumb up, low row. Controlled movement, tight core, as little movement as possible. The only thing that should be moving is our arms. All right, the next one is going to be a glute bridge with chop. So starting position is gonna be heels on the floor. You're gonna press through the heels, making sure that our knees, hips, and shoulders are all in a line. Press that plate up to start position. So from here, Jesse is going to keep a straight arm. He's going to rotate that plate over his head as far as he can. If you can make it to the floor, that's the ideal position. Then come back to start. And then the opposite direction. So you see here his hips are starting to sag a little bit. Be sure you're staying up, fully extended through the hips as we're rotating. This is going to absolutely blow out your shoulders and get your core nice and engaged here. Breathe in as we're going through this. It's really easy to not breathe during this. We don't need anybody passing out and letting the weight fall on your face. Good. All right, the next is going to be a squat with a power T. So this is going to activate our glutes, posterior chain, but it's also going to let those scapular muscles tap in as well. Good. So Jesse's going to lean back into a full squat position. He's going to stand tall, and as he stands tall, he's going to pull himself into a capital T position, controlling the movement, and then he's going to control that way back. Perfect. Squat into a power T position. This is working those decelerator muscles on the back side of the shoulder, which is extremely important into holding that bow back for as long as you may need. All right, so that is workout one for draw strength. I want to make sure that we touch on what we focused on, which is our decelerator muscles in our shoulder. And this is important because, like we've said, when you're pulling that bow, you need to get those little fine-tuned muscles around the shoulder joint strong and stable before you can focus on these big muscles. Jesse has extra big muscles, so we can see them nice and clean. So Jesse, I want you to touch on just going through that workout. How could you feel those things? Do you think it's going to translate into the backcountry?
Yeah, some stuff that I'd never done before, and I'm gonna be sore tomorrow. Like in the the movements we did for posterior chain and for posture.
Right.
I've never been more sore in the middle of my back and going out toward, you know, my that posterior upper back.
Right.
And so I think you guys will really enjoy it. We want your feedback. We don't want to be doing these just for, you know, the yahoos all on YouTube. Okay. We want your feedback. Let us know if you like them, if you want us to do something else, and stay wild.
Stay wild. Hashtag stay wild.